The fate is disturbing.
Believe it. Okay.
What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 376 because last week was 375. I messed that up last week. Of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
Yo.
And Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
And this week, we're geeking out about Disney's epic purchase. Literally. The savior of Marvel, hopefully, and Knuckles. Because, of course, you have to have and Knuckles at the end of the...
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, let's go straight into it. We'll talk about the games that we've been playing. I got to play more Power World, of course. But the cool
Nice.
thing about it was that I did so on stream last week.
Ooh.
And I think by the time this comes out, Christina will have already played her week. Shelley, you will be the following, possibly,
Yes.
in 2 Tuesdays.
I believe so, yep.
And, but yeah, no,
Fun.
getting to play it on stream. We're doing the Twitch streams a little bit differently now. And it's been a lot of fun. Just kind of, the first 20 minutes or so is more of a just chatting situation. There's a couple of us on screen getting to talk. And there's a little bit more engagement, I would say. I'm trying to think of how to put that.
I feel like
It
low
was really
commitment,
funny.
too.
Huh?
I feel like low commitment in a good way, too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
for, like, our viewers, because they'd be like, oh, okay, like, you know, like, I'll go check it out. But we're not necessarily playing through these, like, stories or anything that, you know, you'd want to be there every week for either. So it's like...
Right.
I think
and
it's a
you're
good
not
idea.
having to try to watch us every single day, which I know
Right,
was
right,
kind of
right.
just daunting in general. And then it was daunting for the streamers too, so
Mhm.
it would just not happen some days. You didn't know when we were going to be live at all, and now you will know, Tuesdays, 7 o'clock at the Geeks Under Grace Twitch channel. So, yeah, for sure. Tons and tons of fun. I really enjoyed my time. It was really funny. Our president, he messaged me, and he's like, dude, 700% growth. Because we went from 1 viewer to 8 viewers.
7%. Or 7 viewers, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's funny.
700% growth. And I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can continue that 700% growth going forward. But no, it's been rough the last few, I'd probably say the last 6 months or so, maybe even longer, of like streaming was just, there were so few of us, and we were still saying that we were streaming every single day, and just couldn't keep up with that demand. So I'm really excited about this. There's a verse of the day. There's a question of the day for everyone to talk about. And it just was all around much more enjoyable. And I hope the community can get something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Stoked. Also, Power World was fun. LJ, what were you playing this week?
Yeah, so I am still playing Suicide Squad. I've played a lot more of it since I talked about it last. I guess it's what you do in the game, so I don't technically think it's spoilers to say, like, I've killed 2 of the Justice League members already. It is
What
called
is the title?
It is the title.
It's in the name.
They are doing something very unique with it. And so I think it is fun. I don't think, I've probably said this before, I wouldn't necessarily say you should go out and pay full price for it. I think it has been it's been a fun time just shooting stuff. The way that you fight the Justice League, it makes them feel like raid bosses out of like Destiny or something. It's just like you have to like work for it. They have these phases and things you got to do. At least for the first 2, Green Flash and then Green Lantern, those fights are super fun. I'm worried that I'm at a point where they're gonna start like speeding up the story, which kind of is a bummer because I'm like, I really wanted to. Let's just say I was already into the next Justice League member before not long after I killed the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where that's at right now because I'm still in the middle of that fight. So it's a bummer to me that it feels like at one point they had a longer maybe game planned out here. And then maybe WB came in or somebody came in and said, hey, you have to make this a service game now.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's my theory so far. But it's really clever the way they actually have to come up with ways to actually kill the Justice League. It almost reminds me of like when There's that movie Justice League Doom, how Batman had a contingency for every Justice League member.
Right, yeah.
So there are definitely ways. I do love that each Suicide Squad member does have some kind of Justice League tech for their transportation. Captain Boomerang gets this little like Speed Force gauntlet thing. Harley gets Batman's like drone and grappling hook. King Shark, he just has his own abilities, I guess. And then Deadshot, I forget whose jetpack he gets a hold of, but he ends up getting a jetpack. And that's kind of like and then like you basically, the Hall of Justice is your home base because Brainiac has taken everything over. That's kind of like in the beginning, like very beginning of the game. But I'm liking it. It's for what it is. I know it got a lot of hate early on, and I think people just built up on that hate and were just like, oh no, this game's garbage. But I'd say it's, and this is me using the scale I think as it should be, because a lot of people give a average game a 7, and I'm like, no, this is a 5.5 or maybe a 6, like, but that's a good thing, like it could be a lot worse. I just have to see what the end game is like and what they plan to do with the servicey stuff. I know why Joker is a multiversal character now, so there's like plot reasons for multiverse stuff in here now too. So that's kind of not as bad, but it still sucks.
More acceptable?
It's a little more acceptable because I'm like, okay, like fine, I guess you still could have chosen the Joker. There are other characters that I'm kind of sad about that I learned that they're not going to do stuff I would have wanted. So there's, at one point in the comics, Mr. Freeze's wife ends up getting like cured or whatever. So she's like this really crazy villain. So it's like, oh, I busted her out or I cured her, but it turns out like, oh, that probably wasn't a good idea. So I was thinking, okay, cool, Nora Freeze is going to be a DLC character because there's like hints and like stuff about it.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh no, it actually turns out it's probably just going to be a female version of Mr. Freeze. And I'm like, that's boring. I'm like, that's stupid. So I'm not as excited. I guess one of them is going to be Deadshot's daughter as like I think like another universe version of her. And then it sounds like Deathstroke is going to be another DLC character. So I'm kind of excited for that because like who doesn't want to play as Deathstroke? So I don't know, but I'm just like, oh, you could have. I feel like they're going to drop the ball a little bit on some of those like additions. Other than that, I am enjoying the game. And then other thing I do want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to my Steam Deck again because I downloaded the Halo Master Chief Collection.
Let's go.
And so I was a bit worried because like, I mean, I own the game on Xbox already and everything. But they had it on sale for like $10 on Steam, and I was like, ooh, let me try this. I found out that I didn't need to have all 140 gigs of every single game downloaded. And so it comes downloaded with Reach at first, and then you can add on, like I added on like ODST.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm gonna play those first, and then see where I get, and maybe download the others eventually. But to play Halo on my Steam Deck, just chilling on my couch, is like pretty surreal. I was like, this is wild. Like as a kid, like I would never like. I mean, I guess that's like when I go and play like some of these old classics from like the Switch and like stuff like that, and I'm just like, as a kid, this would have blown my mind to be able to do this. So it's the Steam Deck is just, it's a really good piece of hardware, and I'm still enjoying it. So playing Halo on my couch is awesome. So.
I haven't given enough love lately. I know there's some folks who have been able to sort of configure Pal World in such a way that runs well in the deck. I haven't tried it yet, but it'd be perfect. That'd be perfect.
I did also start Dragon Quest on there, the latest Dragon Quest. So I'm thinking that'll be a fun RPG to play on there too. So yeah, Steam Deck is still awesome. Sweet. So that's it.
Shelley?
I've been playing Persona 3 Reload.
Yeah.
I have had very little time in my week. So what I've been doing is I'll just when I have like a Saturday, I'll just play all day. But it's a really good game. I think it's shaping up to be my favorite Persona game, which is pretty bold to say, I think. But I think it really does combine the story and characters I already loved from when I played Portable. I still like, if I could have chosen to play Femc, with like those social links and those interactions, I still would have chosen that. But it's not an option, and that's, it's disappointing, but it's fine. I accept that. It would have been so much work. And I think they already confirmed that she's not going to be part of it, which is, again, too bad, but it's whatever. Like, I still kind of wish that was an option, but it's not, and that's fine. But it still takes, like, pretty much all the best parts of Persona 3. But then, as all the quality of life changes and more fun combats, shuffle time is very cool. And I finally unlocked Theurgies, which is also a new combat mechanic that they added. It's somewhat similar to like Showtimes from Persona 5, but they're not. So Showtimes are pretty random. Golden actually had a similar mechanic too, where like sometimes people would just be able to do like some really strong attack basically randomly. At least I'm pretty sure it's random. It always felt random to me. But this time it's like a super attack that anyone could do, but everyone has a unique power with theirs. It's not just flat out damage. It is a lot of damage, but sometimes it's like wind damage specifically or electric damage specifically, something like that. Or what's really cool is that the really broken items that I don't actually remember if they were in FPS or not, they were at least in portable because I abused the heck out of them. There's these items you can get, then you can get more of them when you get more personas in your belt and fusions and stuff like that. And basically these items just are really strong. They give you really good buffs. Like the most famous one that you kind of get right away will heal everybody 50% and buff their accuracy and evasion, which is really great because it not only is it a buff, it's also a healing. So what's really neat, because I was curious, I'm like, are they going to bring this back? And also what the most broken one is Armageddon. I think it's Armageddon, which basically one-shots anything, including the Reaper, I'm pretty sure, which is the hardest boss in the game. So anyway, I was like curious to see, I'm like, are they going to bring these like really broken items back? And they are, but what they're doing is they're making that the protagonist theurgy, their special power that you kind of get to choose, which I think is super cool. I think it's neat. And you get the cool animations with it because you got cool animations before. And everyone kind of like, it's a bar that loads, but it doesn't just randomly get fill up. Because everybody has different personalities. Everybody has the idea is that everybody has different reasons that they're fighting. And so they all have kind of different triggers that really align with their personality in a cool way. That if they trigger that thing, so like for example, Maritsu, she does ice magic, and she also does a lot of sort of affliction stuff, so she can like charm people. So with her theurgy, she'll charge it faster if she inflicts a condition on someone, like if she freezes someone, or an enemy, I guess. She freezes an enemy or like charms them or something successfully, then hers will go up faster. Whereas for like Junpei, if he gets a crit, it'll go up faster. And that's cool. I think it's neat because there's way more strategy, it's not just the cool, awesome animation that's like a big, strong hit. You can kind of plan it out. And then for me, I'm already like, I'm running through Tartarus and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm really close to a theurgy. Now, maybe by the border boss, which there's like bosses every once in a while in Tartarus, I'll have it maxed out. And then there's also conditions in which the bar stops loading, or like if you go down, it'll be halved. And I'm like, this is just a cool mechanic. So I like that a lot. I guess I probably shouldn't say so much more. I'm running this as a review for Geeks Under Grace, so like all my thoughts will be there. But I really do think this is shaping to be my favorite Persona game. And I could be wrong, because every time I think about Persona 5 Royal, that last semester is so good. And then I think about Golden, I'm just like, man, that was really good too. But I just really like it. So, and again, word of advice out there. I feel like I mentioned it last week. If you're new to the series, if you've never tried Persona before, definitely go for it. Just be aware that this game in particular, unlike 5 and 4, this game in particular has a very slow start. So you have to really be patient with it. The tutorial's pretty slow. Like, it is a JRPG, right? So it takes a couple hours to really get into the flow of the game. But the story really doesn't pick up for a while either. You really do need to be patient with it. And it does pick up and you get invested. But just be aware of that. I think a lot of folks are sort of like, coming in fresh from 5, or maybe coming in fresh from 5's hype, even if they haven't played 5 themselves. They're like, oh, new Persona game, I want to try it out. And yeah, you do really need to be patient with it. Also, I think it needs to be said, because I think a lot of people also don't understand it, because Persona games get memed all heck, and, they're about teenagers, right? Teenagers just go into high school and they fight stuff. There's really serious topics, so this one actually has trigger warnings for death and suicide, grief, bullying, violence, all of those things. So just be aware of that going into it as well. It's people keep, there's lots of memes. I engage in those memes too. But it is about really serious stuff. So that's just something to keep in mind. I think some people might be thrown off by that if they don't know it. So do it, go for it. Just be wary of heed my warnings, I guess. Heed my I don't know if warning's the right word, but just be aware. That's all.
We will go from there into the gaming news then. Oh,
yeah.
Some big stuff happening.
Yeah, so the first one, I don't know if we still really know what is going to happen with this. But there was this trailer thing that got put out that Disney is partnering with Epic. This article talks about merging the worlds of Disney and Fortnite and stuff like that. And that's kind of what the trailer shows. Disney bought I think $1 billion stake in Epic, and they one of the things I guess feel like they hint at is obviously there's going to be more Disney stuff in Fortnite. Sure, cool. I don't know if there's going to be even in this trailer they show this new world thing, and so I don't know if they're going to try and put Cody, we talked about earlier, they Fortnite already has these new games within the game, it's going to be a platform.
It's so weird to me.
It's wild.
Mechanically, they'll be different.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Fortnite didn't even have this idea first. It's all coming from especially Roblox. Roblox is and then other stuff. People have already in other things have already been making games within games. Fortnite is definitely running for that. They're coming for that mind share.
It feels very Ready Player One.
Yes. And
I will say that price point sounds like a lot of money, but
it's not.
You should be mentioned that $42 billion
games
is the evaluation for Epic Games. So not a huge percentage that they're buying, but a substantial enough. I mean, it's not like it's nothing.
They said our exciting relationship with Epic Games will bring together Disney's beloved brands and franchises with hugely popular Fortnite in a transformational new games and entertainment universe. So, what I hope that means is, I think it would be neat if I don't think this is going to happen necessarily how I would want it, but if Epic became responsible for maybe making new games for Disney, but I don't.
Entertainment is an interesting term.
Yeah, so then it's okay, obviously you could
movies?
you can make a hub, you could definitely Disney Infinity had their toy box thing, where you could do all that. Fortnite is definitely open for that. You can make these worlds and stuff like that in Fortnite. You can literally take Unreal Engine assets on PC and put them in Fortnite. So I hope it's not just
going to the movies in Fortnite and watching our characters will watch movies instead of
there's no joke. There was an episode of something. Oh, I have to go back. No, or a trailer.
No.
Was it the Star Wars trailer? I think it might have been for Rise
that
of
sounds right.
For Rise of Skywalker. I think
debuted in Fortnite. It makes me feel very old. I'm I need to go play this game that I don't want to play just because I feel if I don't play it, that's the whole purpose of what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I feel if I don't play it, I'm going to be lost in a part of
culture.
Culture of the generation.
I mean, see, I play it, but I don't engage with a lot of that extra stuff. I play Zero Build and get a
The
win
only stuff
every
that's
once
cool
in a
to me is
while,
the concerts and things. I didn't care about the game at all. Legos, you build stuff in Legos. I was that sounds cool.
Lego Fortnite is basically Minecraft / Valheim. Rocket Racing is a racing game, and there's literally a controller that is coming out soon for their Fortnite festival mode, so you can play Rock Band in Fortnite. Like I straight up had extra V-Bucks just so I can buy, and this is gonna be real weird. Like there's an NF song, like he has a song in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Greta Van Fleet song I bought because I'm like I love those, I love those artists. So it's like I had extra V-Bucks, and they like those songs rotate, but you can actually like you buy them to hold on to them. And so, like even if they're not in the rotation, almost like a league character or something, like it's just Fortnite is really wild, and I hope this doesn't mean, hey, we're just gonna build this massive universe within Fortnite. I hope it means, hey, we have the resources
to make new games.
Let's do it. Let's I
bet there'll be games within Fortnite.
I know. I like honestly, I think of they had the Avatar game that just came out that Ubisoft did. It wasn't an amazing game, but I'm like at least they tried. At least they gave it some kind of effort, to I'm a sucker for licensed games. So it's like if they put out like some kind of new, I don't know, I don't even know what would be a good example at this point. But if they kept trying that and maybe making these like lower budget things or something, I mean, they don't have to be $70 games, but I just hope they are outside of the Fortnite universe, so that way you can get people that don't play Fortnite to check this stuff out. You need to be more utilized as a resource rather than a platform, I think.
Yeah, I think it just...
At least that's what I would want.
I think this whole thing just kind of
It
makes me a little... Yeah, it makes me a little depressed. Well, and I don't know, maybe I'm making too big of a jump here, but it kind of just feels like... I mean, we know Disney's been a corporate sellout for a while. It's decisions like this that just makes me more depressed about it, because I think about some of the more later, more recent movies. I think about Wish. I think about the live actions, like Little Mermaid, and stuff like that. And I think about how catered they are towards children, and in a way that original Disney kind of was, but kind of wasn't. It's not like Disney's never been...
Yeah.
It's not like they haven't been for kids. Growing up with Disney, I'm like, yeah, these are still for kids, but there's still merit. There's still things you could take away, as an adult. Whereas now movies feel like they really are just Disney shelling out for money, even with Marvel, which because they have their mainline Disney, right? And that's for the kids, and your family. You should take your whole family to get all these theater tickets, go to the theater so you can watch your kids and entertain for an afternoon, so they can sing all these songs and they're not going to stop singing for a full week, and they'll be so happy about it. And then what you'll do is you'll go to the theater again, but for a Marvel movie, and maybe you want your kids to come with you, maybe you don't, but if you miss this one, you're going to be really thrown off for all of our future projects, so you really need to see this one. And you need to see it as soon as possible, even though it's going to come to Disney Plus later. Make sure you have Disney Plus, by the way. I don't know. And then there's this where it's Fortnite is already known for being very manipulative to kids. Not as much as Roblox. I'll give them that. But it's really easy for kids to just spend all their time on Fortnite and want to get all the, be like, hey, Mom, can I use your credit card to buy all this stuff in Fortnite? And now it's just going to be that, but with Disney. And that just makes me a bit depresso. That's all. It's not surprising, but it's depressing. And can the Monopoly rules start to come into play here? Because
a little bit more. Yeah,
that's what I need them to stop. They have acquired,
a world
and obviously they're not
we don't
acquiring
have
Fortnite.
games.
But yeah, it's this is a step that could lead to something like that, and they've acquired so much already. I'm yelling.
Where it's almost because if you're really got into Fortnite and we're full in, you wouldn't have time to play any other video games, and that would not be how I would want to play games. As this is my life now. Is this one thing?
Yeah.
I guess that goes all the way back to World of Warcraft.
See, what's sad is all these service games. That's exactly what they're trying to do now. Is we want you to spend all your time playing our game.
Yeah. You live here now.
And
there's so much more.
And the argument is always we want to make it so you're actually spending less money, because if you only spend money on one game, and all your time on one game, then you're actually being more efficient with your time, and you're spending but no, they're just funneling all their money to
free at
them.
first.
Yeah, they just want your money. They're funneling all your money to them. They're funneling all your time to them, and then can sell it to ads, and they get all the partnerships with all the people in Fortnite. There's so many partnerships. It's toxic, and I hate it.
Yeah.
And I also...
as we lose platforms, I think it's a very possibility that like platforms disappear and these hub worlds become
it's so
kind
bad.
Of like the thing that you choose and fight over. Like, oh no, I'm Fortnite, and then it's like, oh no, I'm Sony's whatever.
Yeah, it's annoying because why can't we go back to just like actual genres? Because you're right, it's becoming brands. Genres are becoming brands. And that's awful because you should be able to enjoy different. I mean, you should be able to enjoy different brands too.
CS:GO players versus Siege players versus COD
like
players versus all these communities.
Even with that, even with TV, I look at like Netflix.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what I watched recently.
Are you a Netflix watcher or Hulu watcher?
But yeah, well, they all have the thumbprint, right? So like a Netflix show feels like a Netflix show, and a Disney Plus show, no matter how good it is, still has a Disney Plus-ness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and that like. It's kind of hard to nail down to what that exactly means, but you can watch a show and not know what it's from and be like, okay, I know.
Oh yeah,
that was made by this company.
If Percy Jackson was made in Netflix, that would have been way different. Because I really enjoyed the Percy Jackson show, but I very much acknowledge like one of the bigger complaints I keep seeing from people who like read the books is that they played things way too safe and that there wasn't a lot of tension. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It definitely looked like it was made for kids and that they kind of like took that away. And I still enjoyed it enough for me personally, but I understand, especially if you read the books, that might have been kind of disappointing. But imagine, I mean, Stranger Things on Netflix, obviously I love that show, but all I'm saying is like if Percy Jackson was made on a different service, how would have that looked, right? Man.
They would have forgotten the source material, but they would have made decent content.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it would have been, like, super unfaithful, but then, like, way better in other ways.
But the source material definitely would not be present.
Probably, you're right, because that's what Netflix does. But you're right. It's the brand rather than, like, a genre now. It's because every brand has every genre you could ever want. Why would you go somewhere else? Us Fortnite.
HBO Max shows feel very specific to...
We have your shooter, we have your builder, we have your racer, we have your... Everything is in Fortnite. Why would you go anywhere else?
And then a lot of platforms are trying to get into live TV now, too. Like, you know?
It's
Paramount,
really depressing.
That's why I watched the Super Bowl on Paramount Plus.
Right.
HBO Max has, like, a sports section now and stuff like that.
I just hate capitalism, guys.
That's what this is.
I'm just depressed this podcast, because I'm just...
I mean, you're not wrong though. I mean, that's the world we live in. Yeah. So, anyway, we're still on video games. By the way, we crossed into every.
We're gonna be talking about it a little bit later too.
Yeah. So.
It's just gonna be the whole night.
Yeah. So, I do want to add. There is an update that we can get excited about for Spider-Man 2. It's going to add New Game Plus, some new suits, and more. I hopefully it's there's an actual. So I do this based on a glitch I found, but I'm hoping there's an actual like time of day / weather changer in the game, because they still don't have that. And there's a glitch if you do this. If there's a glitch if you do this during like when you enter the Mysterio challenges, you can actually get it to stay stuck on a particular time of day or type of weather. Yeah. So that's how I do it now. But I'm like, I just want a slider. Give me a slider now.
Yeah. Suppose they don't have one.
Especially for somebody who spends a lot of time in the photo mode. I was really bummed out. There's other little bugs and things that kind of like things I think they should fix that are technically spoiler related. So I'm not gonna say. Yeah. But it's just the way they handle like symbiote stuff after the game is over. But yeah, so I think hopefully this update, it comes out March 7th, or we're going to get more details as it gets closer, but it's actually not too far away since we're in February, so I'm excited about it. I'm still playing the game. My nephew's still playing the game. I'm enjoying it. I know people platinumed it super fast, but I'm like, no, you know what? The post-game in Spider-Man is, I think, where I live the most now these days. Yeah. So
that's your hub!
Yeah,
They're going to add a racing game! They're going to add Spider Tetris!
That's funny because they do have puzzle sections in both games.
They also have a Wolverine movie coming out in the same universe.
Wait, what?
Yes, they are.
Spider-Man?
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not misspeaking. That's right.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm up for that update. So We can move on now.
Oh, man. Okay, real quick. There is a world in which like they could put the Wolverine game in the Spider-Man game and call it a Marvel game where you choose your story and the people, and then you would have this expanded map, and Spider-Man can go into the map of Wolverine. It's all bad. Anyways, that's not what's happening, but that's the direction of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Crazy. Can you imagine? The movies. We'll get into movies. I watched a movie this week, and I realized that I can't talk about it. Totally forgot that I'm part of the Netflix preview club.
Nice.
Yeah, I have been since 2021. I have never used it.
How do you get into that?
Do you have to pay extra? Like what?
It is invite only.
Whoa, exclusive.
Only 2,000 households that have it.
Oh my gosh, you're
and the
famous.
rest are,
I have no idea how I got it.
The rest are creators, probably.
And now I'm gonna lose it because I'm talking about it. But I
hey,
the movie that
you're a creator, so use it.
Yeah. Well, it had nothing. It really didn't have anything to do with that. I think it's just we had a really old account, and it goes by like what you watch.
Nice.
And so I guess we just watch weird enough stuff that Netflix was like, you have an opinion.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You probably were one of the lucky people that like got into that. They probably had like a, like limited sign up or limited like selection. That's cool.
Selection of who it was. I think having a Netflix account from like the beginning, I think helped us a lot too.
Makes sense.
But,
yep.
Awesome.
Anyways, the movie that I can't talk about is really good. I really enjoyed it, and so
is it like a Netflix
we'll
original, or is it something like released early Netflix, or can you not
Probably
even
can't
say?
say.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. No problem.
I've said too much.
We'll talk later.
Yeah. No, I'm glad it was good.
Yeah. But I will be utilizing the program more. I can talk more about the program.
Nice.
I can. It's neat.
Cool.
So
that's cool.
Hopefully I can use it more in the future. Netflix, don't fire me. Fire? They're not paying me. I don't know.
Don't blacklist my account.
Yeah.
They don't listen to
LJ, you're the only one that watched movies besides that, though.
I watched part of a movie.
Okay.
So, and you talked about, you joked earlier about the whole, like, or y'all joked, like, make sure you have the Disney Plus account, make sure you have this and all that, right?
Yes, Shelley, yes.
So it's funny because I definitely felt like, even though I'd seen all the source material that the Marvels is coming from,
right,
I still felt lost when that movie started.
Oh. Dang.
Really?
Kind of. It felt so fast. So I watched about the first 30 minutes of it, and then, like, I don't know if I was having connection issues, but like I had already moved on, like, eaten lunch or whatever. This was Saturday. And so, actually, I mean, I think it was yesterday, yeah. So I had, but the first part of that movie moves so fast. Like, so it literally picks up right where Miss Marvel leaves off. And everything that happens moves at, like, a clip. And just all of a sudden, they're in the action, like, within those first 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, like, this feels like part of a show or somewhere, which, I mean, I guess.
Well, isn't that crazy? Because like, 2 of the 3 of them are shows, so
yes,
I wonder if they
but
designed it like that.
But then it's like, yeah. So then they start talking about stuff, I think, that happened in between. Because then they, like, with Monica and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, I know that, like, we haven't seen anything of Monica since, like, WandaVision,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, wow, like, so even if I know everything that's going on here, I've still felt, and then, like, Captain Marvel thing, I'm kind of lost with what's at, like, where she was at, like, because then we did have all the Avengers stuff, like, it's mostly with, Captain Marvel and Monica, I feel totally lost. I'm like, wait, what were you guys doing this whole time, kind of a thing? With Miss Marvel, it's like, I'm like, okay, I know what happened with you. I do want to watch more of the movie just because I'm like, I heard it, like, a buddy of mine was like, oh, it's actually not half bad. It's okay. It's really not that bad. I'm like,
I enjoyed it. I think that it
seems
was better than
like,
it got credit for.
Right. So I'm just like, I was like, cool, I'll give it a watch, and I didn't end up watching the whole thing, but I really want to. Like, I'm gonna make it a point to, because I'm like, like, it seems fun, but I was just like, I felt like, when you go back and watch or like turn on, like when you resume an episode of a show, like after you haven't like watched it. I'm so scared for God of
War because of this. I haven't played God of War in a few weeks now, and I'm be so lost.
So it's like, so it's one of those things where it's like, I felt like I resumed an episode of a show that like I was watching like a long time ago, and I'm just like, okay, like, so it's like, I don't hate it. Like, it was just like, okay, I don't know if I can commit to this right now, because my brain power is just like, I feel like I should.
It's really interesting to me, because this is the first movie that has really gone all in on the shows.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my biggest complaint about those shows have been that they've been pointless. Like, they really haven't added value to a story yet.
Yeah.
Real value. Whereas, you're right.
This one does.
You have to have watched Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
WandaVision.
You have to have watched WandaVision.
Yeah.
And Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Just too much.
To really understand what's going on with it.
Yeah.
And
but even then, I'm like, I've seen all these, and I still don't, like, just...
It's almost like an overcorrection.
Yes, it reminds me of like how huge the MCU is, because then I'm like, was I supposed to know what Captain Marvel was doing in between all this? Because like I know like the movie took place in like the 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, then I know that she was in Infinity War and Endgame. And then, she went, there's a cameo at, like, in the post-credits of Shang-Chi.
She grew her hair back out for some reason.
Yes. So I'm just like, okay, so what were you doing during all this time? You were taking a nap or, like, what? Like, yeah, like, so I don't know. It was just...
Yeah. But it is weird to go from, these shows don't matter, to, you need to watch 2 entire shows.
It makes me feel like I missed... It makes me feel like me, who's somebody who's, like, seen all this stuff, like, missed something. And I'm just like...
Yeah. And that's crazy because it's just, again, you watched
like
those shows.
Yes.
How did they expect, and I haven't seen the movie, but how did they expect anybody to be going to the theater if you hadn't already watched those shows? Like, the fact is, there's someone like you, which I think is a very average viewer in the sense, a very average but actually catches up on the shows viewer, where you watch the shows, but you didn't go to theaters for it, you wait till it was on Disney Plus, because you see all these shows, characters from the shows, and so of course you're gonna watch those shows on Disney Plus. You're gonna watch a movie on Disney Plus, and even then you felt lost. Like, who is their target audience? It
feels like you know her. Let's go. Like, all right, like let's just jump right in.
Like going.
I'm like, I don't necessarily hate that idea. I just feel like the execution might have been like rushed.
I think I would have been so lost in theater. Good thing I didn't go because I didn't watch. I mean, I watched WandaVision. I didn't watch
I think it's and like I'm not.
You need to start having recaps even on the movies. You're like, last time in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
Which, like, that they can kind of make a little comic, thing of that. It doesn't have to be cringy. It can be
it wasn't
fun.
necessarily a turnoff. It just made me go, maybe not right now.
For sure.
Yeah, so that was my experience with it. So again, not bad. There's definitely some great scenes up in there. Pretty quickly. So
maybe someone can save the MCU in our
One man
trailer. Our news.
One man. His name's
and
Deadpool.
with that, we go to the movie news.
Yeah. So if you watch the Super Bowl, you might have seen that. I think there was a teaser just saying like, "Hey, you could watch the
30-second clip."
Yeah, basically. So, but the full trailer's on YouTube now. It's crazy, dude. I need to watch Deadpool 2. I actually never watched it. I just didn't get around to it. I watched the first one. And I know everyone's
it was better than the first one.
Well, then that's good. I just think it's crazy.
I need to watch them both again.
Everyone knew Wolverine was going to be a part of this movie, right? That was like the main thing everyone knew was like, oh my gosh, Wolverine's going to be a Deadpool. We see Ryan Reynolds with Hugh Jackman, and like, this is really cool and awesome. I guess I just didn't think about how much they would be crossing over. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, cool, Deadpool and Wolverine are gonna do a thing, and it's apparently supposed to tie into the MCU. It's directly tying in. They're at the TVA,
No
bro.
shame.
And I'm like, I just finished watching Loki season 2.
I still wanted to see Logan, but they still only teased him. Like, I really wanted to just see him.
Please,
so without giving too much spoilers, to kind of make this
make
a little more sense for people, I think I can... Not the trailer spoilers, but for Deadpool 2.
Oh, I see. Cool.
I can say so that makes a little bit more sense. The main villain of Deadpool 2 is Cable.
Right.
And
yes, I did know
Cable is known for time travel.
Whoa.
And I'll leave that there.
That is cool.
Oh
I really
my
need
gosh,
to watch Deadpool 2
you
then.
have to. Yes,
Man.
because it goes deeper than it definitely.
Yeah, that was definitely just enough
No,
to
that's
understand why
good.
he's in the TVA.
That makes
Yeah.
a lot of... That's great, actually.
Basically, he does some
Perfect.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
like if Deadpool has a wanted level on his head right now. Like if you're
Well,
thinking
and that's,
in GTA
you know,
terms,
he'd
like,
be...
It's Deadpool.
yeah,
it's Deadpool.
for sure.
And that's just crazy, because again, they've kind of done the whole, like, oh, you know, teasing the X-Men, the MCU.
I really want to
like...
go back and just watch that part specifically.
But now they're just full-blown with Deadpool, and again, that's... Everyone knows that's the perfect way to do it, I think. Although, again, it's like, Deadpool's
the best
very
was taking my
ambitious.
parents to see Deadpool 2. They loved it.
But now
I'm
it's-
excited for this, though.
Again, they're gonna have to deal with the consequences of having Deadpool in this universe. I mean, obviously, Deadpool's a very adult character, and Disney wants to make everything really good for kids. So
The tagline is so
We've
good,
talked about
too.
this a long time, but now we're finally seeing like that's actually legitimately going to come to a head. Finally,
It's
soon.
very interesting that you mentioned the TVA and just how important this movie is going to be to like the overall MCU.
Yeah.
And it's weird that the first rated R movie
Yeah.
in the MCU, and the first Red Bread trailer, are going to have such an integral part in.
And you're going to have
Exactly.
to technically
the
go
future of
watch
this.
at least a little bit of Loki to know what the TVA is.
Yeah,
That's true.
Which I never would have thought. I never would have thought that for a Deadpool movie.
I mean, Loki's some good
Holy cow.
TV. Like that one, which I'm like, yes, Loki is totally
to make
worth
a
watching.
rated R movie that people have to watch to understand the future of the
I
MCU.
know, that's what I mean. Like, how far can they push this envelope? Like, how far can they go
yeah.
with, like, not only rated R stuff, because, again, I think in a lot of ways, mostly their mainline movies, but also in their Marvel stuff, they've been, like, trying to be, like, you know, every once in a while, they're like, oh, but Echo is edgy, or, like, oh, but this one project is a
That had
little more
nothing to do
serious.
with the main universe. Yeah.
Yeah, but then now, I mean, this is straight rated R, and Deadpool's gonna have to keep coming back, right? Like, he can't not be rated R because it's Deadpool, and like you have to realize that.
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe this will go in a good way. Maybe they'll make another Punisher or something. Like maybe they'll go full send, but I don't know.
They're talking about another Punisher show.
So then who
I
knows?
think Doctor
Maybe
Doom's in it.
maybe
There was a shot of Doctor Doom.
Yeah, okay.
That was crazy to me.
I don't know.
Like, I don't understand. It's gonna be
so
really,
hyped.
really
It's
interesting.
gonna
I
be
was so
weird.
delirious last night, like in my bed, before, like when I got home, and I'm just like, what? Like it was like a fever dream watching that trailer after I got home. Like it was crazy.
It's just yeah,
I almost wonder maybe they'll make a PG-13 version like they did with Deadpool 2.
and put that on Disney Plus or something.
I just
don't
thought
know.
about that. That makes a lot of sense.
And I love like they've used Deadpool in cartoons and stuff, and it's been super funny. Like
Yeah.
in Spiderman, he was like he's like, we don't say the word kill. Like this is a kids show.
Yeah.
We say unalive.
Enliven
You know?
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. But no, they're gonna
Very
have to do it.
exciting. Wish we would have seen a little bit more of Wolverine, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's
We
fine.
don't,
It's
we,
more of
we
a
don't need
tease.
to. We're like I'm like we don't necessarily need to. Like
Yeah.
It's also crazy
I really-
thinking. Sorry, it's just crazy thinking how huge it was for Hugh Jackman's last role playing Wolverine was Logan, and how that was like a big goodbye to his character.
I
and
am
now
man
they're
enough to
digging
say I
up
straight
that
up-
man's grave.
I'm
and
man
making money.
enough to say I literally like that movie made me cry at the end, like straight up.
Which is great, but all I'm saying is
Like,
they
straight up.
have dug out
Like,
that
oh.
man's acting,
Literally.
character, legacy for money.
Yeah.
Like, as excited as you are about this movie, that's great, be excited, but it's all for money. It's not for anything else. It's not for the integrity of the character. It's for nothing else. It's for money. You have to, you can
To be
still like
fair,
it.
Hugh Jackman himself said that the only way he would return to the role of Wolverine was if it was a part of the MCU,
Right. Which
But
which
still
we thought
money.
would never happen.
But still money.
but still money. That's all I'm saying.
I
You can
didn't
like it,
think
you
of
could
it.
love it, and that's great, and I respect it, and I'll probably like it a lot too. I just it's
Seeing
telling.
the 20th century sign like buried in the background was like,
Yeah, right?
yeah.
So good.
So there's that. There's a lot of trailers, or or rather teasers shown at the Super Bowl, which is obviously normal. Like, they're going to be showing lots of big ones. We saw one for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. We saw one for The Monkey Man. We saw one for the Quiet Place. The next Quiet Place movie
looks
day,
so good.
Day 1 or something. I don't really remember. I didn't watch it because I actually haven't watched Quiet Place yet. Still, years
those movies
later.
are so good.
So I'm like, I don't want to spoil myself, so I'm not going to watch this. I kind of turned my eyes away. I was like, I'm not going to look, John Krasinski. So, but I mean, the trailers were just fine. Deadpool was crazy, but it was also like, oh, it's YouTube. So now they're just doing this thing where like they don't
such
actually.
A weird thing, yeah.
They're just like, well,
makes sense. $7 million for 30 seconds.
Exactly, it's money thing, right? And I actually respect that. I get it. It's just it's a little disappointing where it's like, oh, you can't. But especially for something like Deadpool, like there's kids watching the Super Bowl. I get it. You want to direct people to YouTube.
That one makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, go watch it online. Yeah.
But it is just crazy. I don't know. I thought I would see. I mean, it's funny. I was gonna say. Was hoping for like some sort of like Disney movie trailer, but like I guess that's technically Deadpool, and they also did have like an ad for Disney Plus. But part of me,
the Wicked trailer was pretty good.
Oh, Wicked, yeah.
And I'm not a musical guy at all. I've just heard of it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I totally forgot. I don't know. All the ads are so
part 1
forgettable that I forgot.
Yeah, it looked good though. Like
just
Wicked
a lot
genuinely looks fun.
Yeah, just a lot of ads. Yeah, Wicked. Oh man, it's crazy. How that was so popular so long ago.
That movie's been trying to get made for years.
So long. And honestly, Ariana Grande is perfect fit. She already has the acting chops too.
She's got and singing, yeah.
It's crazy. But when I think of Wicked, I think of middle school. It was popular when I was in middle school, fellas. Like that was a long time ago. And they're making a movie now, which is great because I actually never watched the musical. And I'm sure it'll be awesome.
I've never seen the musical either, so like this movie is like perfect.
I only really know that one song. Everyone knows. But I love musicals. You know me, I do love musicals. So
and then the movie's part 1, so it's gonna be like part 1 of the play, versus and then
What? I didn't know that.
Yep.
I'm immediately disappointed again. I was starting to feel so good after all of this. After all of this, I was like, they actually want the legitimate musical experience of intermission, but they're making it 2 different movies. That's crazy.
Be a long intermission.
That's crazy.
Do the bold move and just have like an intermission between the movie. Oh, they should do that when part 2 comes out. Like they should do like give an intermission in between the showings of each movie.
Yeah.
Do the thing that Hollywood's afraid to do in an intermission. That'd be crazy.
It's circling around back to respect, but I think I still don't like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can move on. It's just there's a lot of trailers, a lot of things.
Yeah.
We
got more trailers coming up in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll get into TV shows that we've watched. I don't think I watched anything new this week, but LJ, you checked out Delicious in Dungeon?
I did. I watched like the first 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes or so. That's a good show. Like it's
fun.
It is fun. And that's kind of like the humor, but of the idea of eating actual monsters is funny. Like eating monsters versus like actual food.
And so far, the TVMA rating is a little off, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably where you were last time we talked about this. I don't know how much you watched it last time, but
I'm one episode behind.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I've only watched 2.5 maybe episodes, but
okay.
I'm like, you know what? I like this.
Super unwholesome yet.
No, it seemed like it was good fun. I was like, all right.
I'm a little nervous for it to just
so I don't know though. I'm like, it's super fun.
Yeah.
I can instantly recommend this to all my D&D peeps and be like, you'd probably get a kick out of this. You know,
start getting some ideas or start cooking up some monsters.
Even though it's more obviously isekai style, it seems like everybody's in some kind of video game, But I mean, it also works for D&D realm, I think too. I mean, they don't.
I know they start talking about when they first died. It's really interesting. This is my first time I died. I don't know if you've gotten to that yet.
So it's
it's really commonplace in the show.
And that's what's weird. It's like they don't say it's a video game or anything like that, but like you can kind of like and it obviously is to some degree, which I kind of like too. It's fun. It's super fun. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It's like, yeah, it was a good time. I was like, oh, all right, like, how they get into like the recipes and everything with the dwarf guy. The dwarf guy is kind of my favorite. I think he's my favorite.
He's great.
Not just because he's a dwarf, but he's just that dude's great. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I do recommend it. It was one that I was like, I checked it out pretty quickly because it was like right on the front page of Netflix, and I was like, oh, there's the show.
Yeah, they've been marketing it hard.
Mm-hmm. So
to us at least.
Yeah.
I would say, I guess I didn't think about this, but technically we all watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I didn't think y'all would even like we could just leave that there, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk
I
about.
did participate in America's favorite holiday. Yes, I did. Right next to Thanksgiving, it's America's favorite holiday.
My church, I'm going to say this just because I know people. My church, every Super Bowl, puts on a tailgate party in the lobby of church.
That is so fun.
I
would totally go.
But they're hot dogs and cotton candy and chips.
Oh,
that's ministry.
So good.
Gatorade and stuff. There were these big blow up like slides and things for the kids.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Your church gets the people.
Yes. There's a bunch of photo ops.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
And so super, super cool. And then
that's great.
Craig Rochelle, it's Life Church. His sermon is 6 different like ads, TV ads.
Okay.
And he will watch the ad and then he'll pull a message out of it.
Huh.
And super, super cool.
That's kind of cool.
For those who don't agree with the method, because I'm already on a whole nother hype that I won't get into, but
no, that's great. Like the church is meeting the people where they're at. Everybody's hyped up about the Super Bowl.
One of our value statements is we'll do anything short of sin to reach people.
And it may not be like, hey, like this, you can invite someone and be like, hey, this might not be the kind of Super Bowl party you're used to, but come on, like,
listen, the best part of the Super Bowl is not the football, it's the food and the community.
The food.
That's it.
Yes.
Like, and
yes.
whether or not you're doing it at church
agree.
or doing, because we had a Super Bowl party and we had friends over and it was really fun and we all
cool.
Like I know my team is my team has been there the last 4 out of like 5 years or whatever.
Yes,
but it's like even so, like whether it's my team or not, like I'm still gonna go have a good time with friends.
Listen,
and
I'll
family.
come around after all. So
like,
if he's performing, I will be there. Like no worries.
Give me Weird Al Yankovic.
That would be crazy.
Like it wasn't my team, but when the Rams played, I mean that was LA. Like I'm from that area, but also like my whole household was jumping when Dr. Dre and Eminem and all them came on.
Yeah,
like, that was our That's our culture. It's just like no matter what though. The Super Bowl is a good time for community. I think
it's time for Weird Al. Do it, people. But yeah, we didn't. So during the actual Super Bowl, we didn't have church. Church was in that morning, but then we came home and it's a very cool thing that we do though. I really, really appreciate it.
I love it. That's cool.
It gets people in the doors, and when people get in the doors, they can sign up for life groups and things and grow deeper in their faith. And I think that's all important.
That's legit.
Just because it's loud and crazy on the outside and like seems shallow on the outside doesn't mean that it can't get deep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a soapbox, so I'm gonna jump off of it. We'll get into the
team. Yeah.
That didn't stop me. Hasn't stopped me.
And Knuckles.
Yes.
There's a trailer
Knuckles!
for Knuckles starring Idris Elba. It looks absolutely amazing. My only complaint is that they didn't title it And Knuckles, because it would be the most self-aware thing for them to do, and that's the kind of thing they would do.
Yeah,
if Sonic was in it more, they could have just called it Sonic and Knuckles, but I do love that it's a Knuckles-focused show.
Yeah, I think it's And Knuckles.
Nuck If You Buck is like the greatest idea for a trailer song. I think that is the most hilarious. Like, it's and then like Knuckles, he's already, and I love like how like especially like the black community, like Knuckles is kind of like Piccolo, where he's seen as like a black character,
Mm-hmm.
and so whoever is making the show totally leaned into that. Also, like they gave him Timberland like boots, like Oh my gosh! And
That's
then
cool.
like
I didn't notice that.
yes, and so it's like I love it. Like it's so, and it seems like, and then they have like it seems like Tika Sumpter is gonna be like a big part of that like first couple episodes because he's like legit like oh like I'm staying at your house now, you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love how like it seems like they're embracing that part of like where the character has gone like culturally. I love that. I think it's so cool that they're like
They
doing
are
it
so
that way.
self-aware. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's
To
the
have
thing. It
made
all
such a
comes back
bad
to
Sonic in the beginning
yeah.
and have the internet uproar. I'm still not convinced that wasn't on purpose.
It probably was.
But to being like the most self-aware movie
Oh yeah.
franchise out there, it's so cool to me.
Yep. Yeah, no, Knuckles looks awesome. I love how
And Knuckles. Yeah, we're always
So-
calling it Knuckles.
So then there's that scene I loved whenever he's like the dog's gonna fight his greatest enemy. I thought a cat was gonna jump out like or
It was a
something,
male-
right?
That
It was
was
I
perfect.
thought, oh my gosh, I was like the cat's gonna jump out and everything all heck is gonna break loose.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, it's the mailman like this with
It's
a
the
bat. I
mailman
was just
freaking
like,
out.
that was great. Yeah,
So good.
so good.
More video game news, but a little more confusing. There is an Atari game show in the works.
Huh?
Yeah,
The Great Atari Celebrity Showdown.
What?
Celebrity's weird already.
Money.
And from the sounds of it, it'll just be celebrities playing video games against each other. Jay Blumenfield and Tony Marsh are creating the series. They've done Here Come the Newlyweds, which I don't know what that is, or a Showtime reality series called Gigolos, which I also don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'm excited about the idea of a video game TV show, like a game show. That sounds cool. But I don't understand Atari's attachment to it. Like, I hope it's not just Atari games. That
I
would
have
be-
some
Maybe it's
ideas
sponsored by
of
Atari?
what
There's
they
no
could
way.
do. They're definitely going to capitalize on the 80s, 70s, 80s nostalgia. They're going to do that easy. That's definitely why. It's Atari.
Mhm.
What they should do, it sounds like what they might be doing is there used to be this show, and I think it was actually a spin-off of another game show. They had this show called Nick Arcade, where part of the show was these kids would have to compete in these different like arcade games for like a high score. Then there was also this weird green screen other like game thing they would do. But I think it should be something like that. It would be funny if like, oh, take these two celebrities and have them play this really old game that's probably super outdated and they don't know how to play or whatever.
Mhm.
If they want to do that, like some kind of celebrity showdown thing, I think that would be
Nick Arcade.
fine.
Old school looking.
Yes, it's really old. And it was even beyond my time a little bit. I think I was probably watching it when reruns were happening.
1992.
Okay, no, maybe I wasn't watching it when reruns were. I mean, maybe I was watching it when it was actually live then. Dang, that's good. That's making me feel old now. But it was a lot of like NES or SNES games and Sega games of that era, and like they even play like ActRaiser was a real game back in the day. They'd play that sometimes. Like it was very select games that they would play each episode. They would get to go up to a cabinet and choose one if they like won some kind of pop quiz question, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so I think if it was something like that, something interactive where you get to see like celebrities play like these dumb old games, like even if it's something like the first episode, oh, you're gonna play Pong or some crap like that. Like I don't know, like I don't even know all the games Atari has. Like I really don't, because it's beyond my time. So if you're gonna, I think capturing nostalgia is ultimately the key, and that's where you get into the money and capitalism.
Yeah.
Things that Shelley.
I
Yeah.
would rather Atari make new video games.
Yeah, Atari's been trying to do some weird stuff lately.
Like, I
They
don't
just gotta
understand
become
where
relevant again.
they tried doing the console, and the console was a weird thing. I was excited. I was like, if they bring a console in that's like...
They were a publisher back in the like PS2, GameCube, Xbox era.
And see, and I don't know how that all works. I know that, like, the publishing Atari and then the other, like, stuff in Atari are two
That's
different
right.
companies,
That's right. They're technically two entities. Yeah.
which is also weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it almost seems like they just need to, like, one needs to buy the other, and then they just need to go back to making games.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't think a console's the right move, but I would love to be on my PS5 or even on my phone and like an Atari logo come up and it'd be something that was worth playing.
Be kind of neat.
And something new. Don't give us old. I know
Like
that's not what they want to feed into you.
Yeah.
As collections, but like the collections of Atari aren't that great.
Right.
So make some new IPs.
There
with the
is
Atari
a
name.
new. I would say there's like a 50th anniversary collection. I think it's kind of like the other game I played a few months back, where it's like part documentary. So like that is unique, but like another like yeah, you're right though. They need different new stuff. I think would be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Atari, we'll check out your show, but maybe make games if you're allowed to. I would be down. I think that would be really cool. I would totally play new IPs if they were good with the Atari logo attached to them, because the Atari logo is attached to them. All right, well that ends the podcast this week. Are you guys geeking out about anything else?
Nope.
That's it. Yep.
Cool. Because I meant to ask that before I said we're ending the podcast.
We're good.
Shelley, where can they find you at?
Find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24.
LJ.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under LJ the Paladin.
And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Goodbye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.